have the best fucking idea in the world. Let's keep her away from both of her kids for 2 whole entire years completely, then she will take this channel down. Sound like a plan? Even better, I will create 3,000 pages of fake stories straight out of a fucking Lifetime movie and add these to the Discovery. My best friend is the chief judge. She forced like hundreds of blue-eyed children into illegal adoptions for the past 2 decades. She got my back.
Great idea. I mean, it's not like we haven't already caused enough damage. We gave her daughter epilepsy after she told us many times she was being abused. We completely fucking ignored her. That's what she gets for having kids with a black man. Then we told her if she did not put her son out of her house, we would take her kids. She put him out, he died, and we took her kids anyway. We are so fucking reckless. We totally belong on YouTube.
Let's not forget the first 2 kids whose lives we have completely fucking destroyed, removing them multiple times. God, those were the good old days, when she actually believed we were following the law. Now she figured us the fuck out. They don't teach us how to deal with this kind of stuff at the University of Corruption, where I got my bachelor in kidnapping 2-year-old children.
White women don't know how to raise black children. We have to make sure her children stay in public school where they can learn all the news created to make sure different races don't have kids. With women like her, pretty soon there will be no race. Then, what will we have to fucking argue about? I think that entire 2-year thing is a great idea. Then we will tell those dumbass blue-eyed robot judges to do what the fuck we say, or they will be fucking fired. They think we actually like them. That is fucking hilarious, isn't it?
I told her daughter Amaya that her mom doesn't want her anymore. She totally fucking believes me. I love traumatizing children under the age of 10. This is so much fucking fun. I have been texting mom trying to get her to do all kinds of crazy shit just to get more evidence, even though no law under the fucking sun says we can take anyone's kids unless they sign the court order. I already lifted her signature from when she came in to get gas cards and signed all of the dependency court orders for her.
Why are you so obsessed with me? What did I do to deserve this? Why are my children so important to you? But you are not the other parent, you are a corrupt state. Official without any blood, relation to my children, yeah. All you do is think about them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can you please explain to me why you are so obsessed with me? Why is it so important to you to destroy my life and my family? I know you don't make that much money, but you committed heist for your boss, operating under zero loss. Why you so obsessed with me? What did I do to deserve this much attention? Who sent you? Why you so obsessed with me? I don't understand your purpose, I don't understand your goals. From what I can see, you are worthless. Unless my children you will hold. It's like you know I will come after them, so you want me to come after you? But why you so obsessed with me? What did I ever do? How do you justify your stacking on me? I have to be all you think about. There's no other way you'll be able to do this. No amount of money could make me do what you do for a living, but you are happy stalking me, and that's highly concerning. My goal is to put you in prison no matter what. Why are you so obsessed with me? Why do you stalk my children? Who sent you? I will forever repay you by suing repeatedly under 1983. If it gets dismissed, I will sue you again until I get your money, your assets, your home, and your income. Everything you own will be mine in your indivisible capacity. You are liable for cash damages, punitive and compulsory for wasting my time. Why you so obsessed with me? I will never understand. You are obsessed with me as if I were a man. I am nobody special, but there you stand in my face like I am so great. Why you so obsessed with me? I will never understand. I tried to get a restraining order, they denied it. You manipulated many to believe what you do, but why are you so obsessed with me? Is what I wanna know. For every second I spent without my children, These weak ass judges are gonna pay me in cash. Damages for violating my constitutional rights. And I don't just mean a couple thousand. No, I need millions, this channel is never coming down. I give no fucks about a judge, I will not budge. You think you're affecting me, I don't give a fuck. My heart went with my son, you know the one. You terrorize his entire life with no loss to do any of it. I'm done being nice, your crimes will be exposed until you pay the price. I need millions, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. Your attempts to silence me haven't gotten you far. It just made it worse for you. Everybody's looking at you and they see everything you do. Nobody cares because they already knew. I need millions in cash for all the problems you caused in the future and the past. It doesn't look like you're ever gonna stop harassing us. We will need the money to change our names and move out of town for this unwanted fame, destroying any chance we had it. Living a normal life, your government agency violated our rights. Nothing you do will change your destiny or ways. I need millions in cash for all of that, nothing less. I will repeatedly sue you in every county across the state until I get my money. You owe for making us wait, for taking everything over and over again with no laws, no probable, cause I'm not getting any younger. It's time to pay what you weigh. Your karma is here, I will deliver it every day. Right to your front door, that's what I came for. There are no accidents in life. I was meant to fight, I was not meant to comply. Why do you look so sad? Don't cry, you knew this was coming, don't ask me why. No immunity from this publicity. Open wide for the world to see all your crimes against children, many of them including mine. Get out of my face, you're wasting my time. I need millions and you're staying online. I need cash. Show me the money. I will take your job. Get away with this, you will not. I will make you pay. For every second, for every hour, for every single day. I live without my children. I will be paid with all of your money after I file lawsuit after lawsuit. In your individual capacity, you are liable to me. You are operating under no laws at the Washington Supreme Court. I will make you pay. Your crimes will be public until my dying day. I will make you pay. For every second, for every hour, for every single day. Watch out for these state officials, they are operating under no laws at the Washington Supreme Court. I will take your job, I will make you pay. For every second, for every hour, for every single day. I live without my children. I will take all of your money after I file lawsuit after lawsuit. In your individual capacity, you are liable to me. I will make sure you pay. Your crimes will be public until my dying day. For every second, for every hour, for every single day. For every second, for every hour, for every single day. Watch out for these state officials, they are operating under no laws at the Superior Court of King County, Seattle, Washington. I hate waking up every day having to think about you, but you force me to by keeping me away from from my children under no law at all. It's like you want me to send you text messages and emails. You're begging me to call because you're not the other parent, but you still have my kids from the outside looking in. It looks like some weirdo shit. If you didn't wanna be famous, you would have given them back a long time ago. But you love it here online, and online is where you will go. You will not win this war. I am the victim, I am the prey. I am the one who tells them to go away. They don't listen to me. That's why my kids are not free, because they want to so badly be with me. Get over it, bitch, leave me be.
Get the fuck out my face, get away from my door. My kids don't wanna talk to you at all anymore. Get a warrant, bring the police. I don't wanna talk to you, try to destroy me. You take everything away. Get the fuck out my face, get away from my door. You are so fucking useless, I don't care anymore. After everything you have done to me, you should be put in jail for kidnapping in the first degree with no fucking bail. I am. Don't think twice when you answer the door for CP. If the kids might never come back, remember that. If your eyes are not brown, they will be sold, and that's a fact. I was way too nice, now look, no more time will ladder because you wasted fucking life. Ever get a fucking life? Stalking me like you're a dude. Get the fuck out my face, get away from my door. My kids don't wanna talk to you at all anymore. Get a warrant, bring the police. I don't wanna talk to you, trying to destroy me. You take everything away. Get the fuck out my face, get away from my door. You are so fucking useless, I don't care anymore. After everything you have done to me, you should be put in jail for kidnapping in the first degree with no fucking pay. Don't think twice when you answer the door for CP. Your kids might never come back, remember that. If your eyes are not brown, they will be sold as us. Get over it, bitch, it don't come. I should've told you on the first day, get up. On my face was way too nice, now looking to more tall ladder because they said they come for me. I was way too nice, telling no one time I'm not let up because you wasted a call for a life. Now everything's on to the come from me.
So when I recently filed a lawsuit against King County, I had to file a tort first with the state of Washington. This is required under tort law, which is nationwide. Basically, you have to file like a notice, like I'm going to sue you and this is why. And they're supposed to be able to investigate this notice that you provide and either say okay or no, we don't care, or just nothing at all. Regardless, you have to wait, I believe it's 60 days or 90 days after you file the tort to file your lawsuit. And then if you don't plan on suing them, then don't file the tort yet. So because basically once you file that tort for that, the issues that you say you're going to file the lawsuit for, you have to do it within the amount of time that you say you're going to do it. Otherwise, you can't come back later and say, well, you know, I'm coming back for those other allegations that you had your chance to do it the first time. So basically, you have 60 days from the day that you file the tort, and you have to send in all your evidence when you file the tort. So it's like a claim form. Like you have to do, when you sue the county, you have to file one with the county or the city, and you have to also file one with your state. So there's two different processes. And some states have it to where they have to do a notary with the state one. There's different processes for each state, but basically in my state, there's an online form that you can use for both. So for both the county and both the the state. But basically, I, have been filing lawsuit after lawsuit against King County and filing claim after claim with the county itself and with the city. And so each one was just completely ignored, right? My daughter was being, abused in the foster home. Nobody listened to me, nothing. Okay. And it was just constant, constant, constant. And then finally, she fell and hit her head and had a traumatic brain injury. And now she has epilepsy. And then she was sent home after that. So the people who were in charge the entire time when I was filing these torts to let them know, the judges aren't following the law, blah, blah, blah. So I did a Google search and I said, who answers the risk emails, the risk management emails from King County? And the two people that I found, the only two people that came up on this Google search were Christine O and Lorraine Patterson. I don't forget the rest of her last name. But these are the only two people who are in charge of, I guess they're directors of something, but they are the ones in charge of whoever answers that email and whoever responds to these risk claims for King County. So that means that they know what I'm alleging. They know that I'm alleging that the judges are not following the law, that they're misapplying the Juvenile Court Act. They know these facts, okay? They know that I'm alleging racism. They know that I'm alleging that they're targeting parents by eye color. They know all of this. They're completely okay with it, obviously, because I've been filing, like I said, tort after lawsuit after lawsuit, and they just completely ignore, never investigate, don't care what I'm saying. So now they get to be famous, okay? Yes, they do. So here we are. This is Lorraine Patterson, and this is Christine O, and they work with Natalie Green to make sure that I never, ever, ever get paid for what they're doing to me. Okay? So not only do they assist the judges by allowing them to do what they're doing, but they ignore my complaints to the point of child abuse to the point of no return, because my daughter suffered from a traumatic brain injury after I complained to them about what was happening to my daughter. Okay? So they already knew that my daughter was being abused in that foster home, and they did nothing. And now my daughter has epilepsy because they ignored me. Now everybody's on YouTube because they ignored me when I said, please investigate these judges. Please find out what they're doing. Please stop them from using the Juvenile Court Act. They ignored me. So guess what? They're the reason these judges are on YouTube. Okay? They could have easily went and said, hey, why don't you guys not do that? Why don't you apply the correct laws? Why don't you stop treating parents like defendants and holding 7-day trials against them in this courthouse? Because we're going to get sued. That's what they should have done. But they knew that these judges don't get to be judges unless they agree to allow petty torture to white people. They don't. So basically, they don't get to be judges unless they allow it. And they are well vetted prior to becoming a judge. Okay, they are told exactly what they can and can't do. They know exactly their mission. Okay, so they're not allowed to become judges unless they allow it. And these two women, they know that. So they know that no matter how many times I sue in the district court, those district court judges came from where? The Superior Court. So basically, they all came from the same place. So they're all vetted and they're all trained to allow this. They've been allowing it for years. They think it's funny. And now they're getting called out for it because it's not funny. Because people's kids are gone now. And it's not because of drugs, and it's not because of domestic violence. It's not because of any of that, because the whole world suffers from that. So we know that. If CPS were truly allowed to do what they're doing right now, they would have a whole lot more kids. Okay, because there are a lot of people who go through the same crap and don't get their kids taken. Okay, let's just call it what it is. It's revenge terrorism. And for what? I don't know, because none of these people were here a long time ago to even confirm what happened to anybody. I wasn't here. I don't know what happened. The government lies all the time. That's all they do is lie. I don't know what they lie about. They lie about everything. They got so much fake news, it's insane. Why wouldn't they lie? I wasn't here, so I don't know what's real and what's not real. All I know is there was no cameras back then, but there sure are a lot of photos of it. There should be paintings, okay? There was no cameras back then, so why are there so many photos of it? I don't know. You tell me. I have no clue why there are photos of and videos of Hitler when there were no cameras when Hitler was here. Why? I'm just saying. I'm just being honest. It's true. There was no video cameras, but there sure are a lot of videos of him. And I don't get that part. Clear as day, too. They're not no low pixel videos. Those are high quality videos. How does that work? And he died in 1940. Cameras didn't come out till 1980. Yeah. Do you have any videos of yourself as a kid if you're over the age of 40? You don't, do you? There you go. Okay, so let's just keep it real.
So we are here to begin trial this afternoon. I want to let the parties know what I received and reviewed, and then we can talk about whether this will be an entirely remote trial or if anyone wishes to appear in person, and then we'll talk about scheduling. So I did review a brief from Ms. Cowan, a brief from Mr. LaRosse, and 2 emails and an attachment pleading from Ms. Zayas. Am I missing anything? I also have the exhibit list and the witness time estimate. Am I missing anything from any party beginning with Mr. LaRosse?
I don't believe so, but in regards to the emails from Ms. Zayas, I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to check if these were filed, but one was entitled Exhibit List, 23 pages, although it's not really an exhibit list, it's more of a trial brief, and the other was the reply to AAG's trial report, which is 3 pages. Is that what the court was referring to?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I think that's it then.
All right. And there was some content in the email, so we have filed all of the emails that we received, so they should be in script if you want to make sure that you received them and have been able to review them. So anything else from DCYF or from the CASA?
And Your Honor, Ms. Johnston-Hanks did file a report to court, but I have not submitted that as an exhibit. At this time, I may upload it into ShareFile, and I will make sure that Ms. Zayas and Mr. LaRosse get a copy of it if I intend to introduce it as an exhibit. Thank you.
Ms. Zayas, I did review, let me tell you the documents that I reviewed that we received from you, just to make sure I've got everything. So I did receive an email dated Friday, 7/15, 9:38 p.m. I reviewed that. I received an email indicating that your only witness would be your son. So I received that. That was July 15th at 4:30 p.m. I received your exhibit list and your trial report. So did I list everything that you've submitted to the court, Ms. Zayas?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. The next issue I'd like to take up is the nature of the proceedings. So everyone has appeared by Zoom today, and the court is happy to conduct this trial by Zoom if that is the wish of all of the participants. The court is also happy to have any of the participants in person in my courtroom at any time. So everyone is welcome to come. If you were to be here in person, the only requirement is that everyone in the courtroom has to wear masks. And so other than that, we are pretty much open and operating normally pre-pandemic. So let me just ask first, Mr. LaRosse, does the state wish for the trial to proceed by Zoom?
I am perfectly comfortable and, in fact, in favor of that, Your Honor. However, I do want to state that I think that even if all the parties are in agreement, it's still necessary for the court to conduct a Matthews v. Eldridge balancing test. which I would like to address after the court checks with everybody.
All right, very good. Ms. Cowan, what is your preference for the nature of the proceedings?
Yes, Your Honor. Ms. Johnston Hanks and I would prefer to appear by Zoom if the court allows us to. And I agree with Mr. LaRosse to address the Matthews factors as he is briefed in his trial brief before the court makes a decision. Thank you.
Okay. And Ms. Zayas, what is your preference? To have the trial by Zoom or to come in person?
It's fine by Zoom.
Okay. And let me ask you this, Ms. Zayas, can you tell me whether or not appearing by Zoom is better for you than coming in person every day? What's the best way for you to have access to this proceeding?
Well, if my rights get terminated by Zoom, I'll be mad at Zoom. So I don't know.
Are you able to come in person every day?
I can if you want me to. It doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But I guess Zoom is fine for now.
Okay. Is Zoom more convenient for you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I see that you have your child with you. If we had these proceedings in person, would you be able to find care for your child?
No, I'd have to bring her with me. She's not in daycare yet. Okay. Or actually, I can son watch her, but I don't know. I have to ask him.
Okay. So you don't have childcare lined up if we were to conduct these proceedings in person?
No, Amaya's been to all the child cares around here, so they don't tell me they have an opening.
Okay. Thank you. And I don't need to know your precise location, but how far away from the King County Courthouse in downtown Seattle are you?
Oh, downtown Seattle? Probably like 45 minutes.
Okay. And do you have reliable transportation to the downtown courthouse?
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else that makes appearing by Zoom more convenient for you that I've missed?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Mr. LaRosse, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. So I provided some briefing in the trial memorandum regarding the requirements on an individualized basis for the court to determine whether in a specific case a hybrid trial or a full Zoom trial comports with due process. And the test to be employed is the Matthews v. Eldridge test, which requires the court to balance three different factors. One is the private interests at stake, one is the state interests at stake, and one is the risk of erroneous deprivation if the procedure that is being contemplated is used in lieu of having everyone else appear, having all of the parties and witnesses appear in person in the court. And in terms of the private interests, we have the interest of the mother, which is her fundamental right to parent the child. We have the interest of the child, which is a right to a rapid establishment of permanency in a safe, stable, and appropriate home. And then in regards to the state's interest, the state shares the same interest as the child, which is that right to establishment of permanency for a child who's been in out-of-home care for some 2+ years. All of the parties also share an interest, however, in not getting COVID. And given the prevalence of the new BA.5 variant, Ms. Zayas can speak to her susceptibility given her particular medical issues. I am someone who is particularly susceptible or at a higher risk of problems given my own medical circumstances if I were to be exposed to COVID. And so I definitely have a strong interest in not putting myself at risk to that. I believe Ms. Zayas has the same. I don't know about the other parties. And then the next, so I guess I would summarize by saying that the various private and state interests are all of comparable weight and not necessarily determinative of the question, which really rests then on the question of a risk of erroneous deprivation. And the primary considerations in terms of risk of erroneous deprivation by use of Zoom at trial are essentially the ability of the parent to fully participate and the impact on the use of Zoom on the parent's ability to effectively work with their counsel. The second of those is moot because Ms. Zayas is representing herself. So whether we proceed by Zoom or in court, the question of adequate ability to work with counsel is not an issue here. Ms. Zayas has indicated that she would prefer to appear by Zoom. The court has obviously been using Zoom for the past 2.5 years to conduct its trials. I will note that in many of those trials, judges have observed that Zoom is actually in some sense preferable due to the fact that they are able to have a full face-on view of the witnesses without masks. And were there to be a trial in person in the courtroom, the court would be having a side view of witnesses wearing masks. And so that's actually a detriment compared to the ability to observe the witnesses via Zoom and also potentially to understand them because of the lack of obstructing masks. There is not a risk of erroneous deprivation that is presented by conducting these proceedings via Zoom, and therefore the department is requesting a finding from the court that proceeding in this manner does comport with due process. Thank you.
Ms. Zayas, Mr. LaRosse suggested that you might have some health concerns that would be relevant to whether it would be safe for you to come to court. Would you like to generally tell the court whether that's correct or not?
I'm not taking any medication right now, but sometimes I get high blood pressure, but I haven't had it in a while since about 6 months after having the baby. So no, I don't. Not right now.
Okay. So you don't have any issues that make you particularly susceptible to complications if you were to contract COVID?
I've had COVID already. Being old, I guess, but I've already had it. I had it a year ago.
Okay.
Me and the baby both had it.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Zayas. All right. So the court will observe that having done numerous Zoom trials, the representations that Mr. LaRosse makes about the court's ability to perceive witnesses and make credibility determinations and the effectiveness of the Zoom platform for trial for counsel and parties to be able to do the same is correct. If we were all in person, we'd all be wearing masks, and not only would the witnesses be wearing an awkward, clear face mask that is transparent, but it does obstruct some facial expressions. But the parties and the lawyers wouldn't be able to view each other in a way that might be important. For example, Ms. Zayas wouldn't be able to view Mr. LaRosse's face at all times, and that might be detrimental to her presentation of her case. So as far as any right of confronting witnesses and the ability to confront witnesses and gauge credibility, that is in some ways enhanced by the Zoom platform as opposed to being in person. Mr. LaRosse does have health concerns that require this court to balance protecting his health risks with an in-person trial. And frankly, given Ms. Zayas's preference for a remote trial and the hardship that she would suffer in having to find childcare for her small child and traveling 45 minutes each way to the courthouse every day, the court finds that balancing those, her interests with the interest of Mr. LaRosse's health, that the Zoom platform wins out in that balance as well. LaRosse doesn't have counsel, so although we can accommodate, and we have accommodated the ability for counsel and parties to confer, that's not an issue in this case. The court will accommodate
the state and the CASA conferring with their clients during the trial in a way that satisfies due process. And given this court's experience with Zoom trials and the representations of everyone participating in this case, the court finds that Ms. Zayas's due process is not only satisfied by a Zoom trial, but in some ways enhanced because she has a better access to the court this way than she would if she were to come in person. I am looking at Ms. Zayas's internet connection. It appears to be stable, and other people's, the CASA and the state's internet connections seem to be stable, so I don't have any concern about access to sufficient technology to participate, and so that also weighs in favor of a Zoom trial. This case has been on the calendar for quite some time, and if this court were to wait to try this case until the health situation is different, I don't really know when that would be because it seems to be a moving goalpost, and so there really is no reason to consider moving this trial in order for all of us to be able to appear in person without the state's counsel's health concerns rising to a level of creating an interest that outweighs getting together in person and doing this trial. So for all of those reasons, and the child in this case has an interest definitely to resolving this issue as soon as possible, as does Ms. Zayas and as does the state. So I'll just ask Mr. LaRosse, are those findings, in your view, sufficient to proceed by way of Zoom? All right. Okay, let's talk about scheduling then. I understand that we may have some scheduling issues coming up this week. So the courts would intend to begin this afternoon with, I don't know if there's any motions, but begin this afternoon with the trial and be in session all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, all day Thursday, and then again next week. The only time the court has a need of being in recess is next Monday morning. And so we would begin at 1:30 on Monday the 25th and then be in session all day next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the 26th, 27th, 28th, hopefully completing the trial by the 28th of July. So Mr. LaRosse, if you would please begin with letting the court know any scheduling issues that it should be aware of as we proceed.
I will have to defer to Ms. Ramos for her scheduling. I'm not aware of any issues that she has. The only issues that I have is that myself and Ms. Johnston-Hanks have a hearing before Judge Ferguson at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and we have informed the court that we're going to need to commence trial in front of Your Honor at 9 o'clock, so we've asked them to proceed expeditiously with that matter. It's not the sort of thing that I can really get coverage for. It's a pretty complicated motion. So my hope is that we don't run slightly over and that we're able to conclude that hearing with Judge Ferguson by 9 o'clock. But of course, I'm not 100% in control of that.
Of course. Should we begin at 9:15 tomorrow then? Would that give a cushion, or is 9:30 a better cushion?
Could we set it for 9:15, and then if there are problems, I can email the court? I think that Judge Ferguson has another matter at 9. I'm not 100% sure, but my guess is that because he set it at 8:30, it's because he has other things to do. So it's my hope that we will be able to get that done expeditiously. Okay, thank you. I do want to note I have a somewhat complicated matter at 8:30 on the dependency calendar on Thursday, and I'm going to do my very best to get coverage for that. If that becomes a problem, I may raise it with the court tomorrow.
And do we think we'll still be in your case on Thursday?
Well, one of the complicating factors is that Ms. Zayas informed the parties in the court yesterday or today that she has a 10:30 appointment tomorrow morning, and I have two separate witnesses scheduled, professional witnesses.
It's Wednesday morning. Oh wait, is that Wednesday morning?
My mistake, Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
So depending on what the court determines to do with that situation, I may have to reschedule those witnesses, although I would prefer not to. I anticipate that I am hoping to conclude the state's case by next Monday, if not before, but that in part depends with what we do about this coming Wednesday morning.
Okay, very good.
No, Your Honor, I do not have any other issues. I did find out recently that Amaya, the child in this matter, has an appointment on Thursday at 12:30. And I know that the plan was to have myself involved in that appointment as well as Ms. Zayas if she is available. I understand the court is on recess at that time, and I don't know how long the appointment will go to. So that is the only conflict, if any.
Okay. All right, Ms. Zayas. First of all, let's talk about this Thursday appointment. That seems to be one we should resolve first. What is your travel time to get to the 12:30 appointment on Thursday?
I didn't know anything about it until she just said that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been there before. I don't know where I'm going or what. I have no idea.
Ms. Ramos, do you mind telling Ms. Zayas where she would be going?
I have to get approval for her to be able to attend because this appointment is being facilitated by the foster parent who is the caregiver. There are concerns of safety with Ms. Zayas attending that appointment, so I may only be able to have her attend by phone. I
have to go up there anyway to get her records, so I might as well go up there.
The appointment is in Seattle, so if she attends in person, it sounds like it's a 45-minute drive for her each way.
Okay. So perhaps this is premature. Ms. Ramos, I understood that when you first mentioned it, you said she might attend. So now it's premature that she might attend. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Then let's not get into it until you know for sure whether she's going to attend in person or by phone. And can you know that by tomorrow?
Yes, I can.
All right. Very good. So figure that out, and then we'll discuss the Thursday schedule then. So Ms. Zayas, I understand you may have something Wednesday morning. Please tell me about that.
Yeah, I have an appointment at 9:30 at the airport. Sorry.
That's okay. And what kind of appointment is it?
I have to go take a drug test. It's just a mouth swab, so it takes like 5 minutes. But I don't know if they have me do it right when I get there. They might have me wait because they usually do just in case people chew gum or something before they come.
Okay.
So they might have me wait like 10 or 15 minutes when I get there and then take it, and then I can just go.
Okay. And what's the test for?
For I start work on August 22nd for Alaska Airlines.
Okay. Do you have an email or some other confirmation of that appointment time?
Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah, would you forward that to Ms. Stronsky, the Court McCoy?
Okay.
And then we will determine if you can forward that. Do you have the ability to do that this afternoon?
Yes.
Okay, let's do that this afternoon, and then upon confirmation of that, and the reason I'm asking is just because if you do have confirmation of that, then I'm going to ask Mr. LaRosse to reschedule his witnesses, and so I want to make sure that we are certain of the time and the place and the date before I ask him to do that.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, could I ask, just to avoid ex parte communications, that all parties be CC'd on that email?
Of course. Yeah, Ms.
Thank you.
Zayas, could you include Mr. LaRosse on that email as well as Ms. Cowan?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've probably been doing that for a while, including everybody on the emails.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so going forward in this trial, if there are things that I ask for you to send to my bailiff or to the court, if you would always include everyone on the email. If you don't, Ms. Stronsky's going to forward it to them anyway, so it's expeditious to go ahead and include everybody on the correspondence.
There are not any other motions, Your Honor. I do have a handful of issues that I think are best resolved prior to commencing opening arguments, if I can sort of run down the list of those.
So, I'm sorry, are they motions or are they issues? I'm not clear.
They are not motions. They are issues, for instance, addressing the fact that this is an open courtroom, addressing the application of ICWA and the Service Members Civil Protection Act. Okay, so thank you. I said there's a couple different ones, but the first is addressing the matter or the fact that this proceeding is being held in an open courtroom, for the court to address that on the record.
All right. So I am sitting in courtroom West 817 in the King County Courthouse. Currently in the courtroom, as you can see on the screen, there are no observers. It is simply me and the court clerk, Mr. Mason. He's right below me and he's not visible on this camera. So we are the only two in this courtroom. The courtroom is unlocked. If anyone were to open the door and walk in and sit, they would be welcome to stay. The courtroom will remain unlocked during these proceedings, and it is for that reason, and that is all that the law requires to make this an open courtroom. This court does not broadcast its proceedings on YouTube or any other internet forum at all. Some courts do that. This court does not. If anyone wants to see what's going on in this courtroom, they have to come. We have a Zoom link that my bailiff will only give out to identified people. So if, for example, another person from the Attorney General's office, like another lawyer or an investigator, wished to watch the proceedings, they would be welcome to watch them by Zoom, but that person should identify themselves when they request an email link. I'm going to ask that if any of the parties share the Zoom link with anyone, that you make sure that that person knows they need to identify themselves when they join the Zoom. And Ms. Stronsky won't let anyone into the Zoom link who is unidentified. The reason that we do that is we can't risk having witnesses watching proceedings and then us not knowing that they're witnesses and then having watched, then testifying. So that's the reason for that. Any other?
The next issue to address would be, pardon me, the application of the Service Member Civil Relief Act. The mother is not a member on active duty with a member of the armed forces or on active duty with such, so that act does not apply. If anybody has any contrary information, I would ask that they provide that to the court. The application of the Indian Child Welfare Act is required for the court to inquire of the participants whether any participant knows or has reason to know the child has Native American ancestry. The mother has specified that she does not have Native American ancestry, therefore there is no reason to know the child is a member or eligible for membership in a federally recognized tribe, and ICWA does not apply. If anyone has any contrary information, I would ask that they provide it to the court. Thank you. Thank you. The next issue is similar in regards to the mother's decision to proceed pro se in this matter. That motion was previously granted within the termination and the dependency proceedings. The department is not aware of any change in circumstances that would indicate that her decision to proceed by representing herself rather than via representation through an attorney is anything other than knowing, intelligent, and voluntary. If anyone else has contrary information, I would ask they present that to the court. The next question is simply one of efficiency. Because this is a bench trial and because it is on, it's assigned on rather short notice, there may be times in which the department or other parties may request to take witnesses out of order to fill in gaps, especially if there's a situation where the witnesses, for instance, who are scheduled for Wednesday morning are not proceed because the court allows the mother to attend her UA. I will need to reschedule them, and as a result may have some gaps in the way the witnesses are scheduled. And so, for instance, there might be a request to call Ms. Ramos out of order to present factual testimony rather than presenting her as the department's final witness to present factual and opinion testimony, or potentially asking for the CASA to be called out of order, or if the mother comes up with a witness she wants to be called, maybe having that person called out of order. And I just wanted to alert the court to that potential issue before we begin.
Is extremely flexible with witnesses, generally in all cases, understanding that people have schedules and that this case was assigned out at the last minute. So I just ask that you help me know where we are when we left off. For example, if you were to call Ms. Ramos and present an hour of Ms. Ramos's testimony, and then she is interrupted by another witness, that's perfectly fine. When we resume, Ms. Ramos, if you could just assist the court in picking up where we left off. The only reason I say that is you all know this case way better than I do, and so to the extent you can keep us organized, even though we're being flexible with calling witnesses, the court would appreciate it.
I can't believe it's still hard for me to talk about, and it's been so long since he's passed away. I still start to cry. But I just wanted to say that it takes time when somebody passes away for you to realize things. I don't know if I can say this. This whole thing was like traumatizing, okay? I think losing my kids is what made me just push it in the back of my mind, but also the fact that these people know what they did to my son. They know. That's why they're so mad right now. That's why they're doing this, because they know what they did. Okay? They know they messed up. And they know that he wouldn't have been on fentanyl at all if his life would have been halfway decent. My son couldn't have a puppy. He couldn't have friends. He couldn't do anything because he was moved every 2 years from the day he was born to a different place, to a stranger's house, to wherever. I only got to raise him for like 5 years. And it was, when he was young, so it was good, and we did bond, but it wasn't supposed to be like this. They messed up. By putting him in that foster home, they messed up. And yes, fentanyl means they're suicidal. I believe it does. And I believe he was suicidal, and he told me he was suicidal. And but it was because even me, if I blame myself every day, I feel guilty every day. I didn't pay attention to him like I should have. I didn't see the damage and how bad it really was until it was too late. He had overdosed before and went to the hospital, and nobody told us. I think that would have made a big difference in the decisions we made as far as, just letting him run the streets like that, because I had no idea he overdosed before. I guess he called an ambulance and they took him to the hospital or whatever, but he never told us anything. And so it was like, I don't know, we could have stopped it if we knew, and he was under 21. So I don't know why they did that. But they should have something where they tell the parents, because under 21's too young. They're still kids, We should be told when someone's suicidal. There should be somebody telling somebody, you know, hey, and it's not just a drug habit. They're not just drug addicts. They're suicidal people. So they need to be treated that way, and they're not. They're treated like drug addicts. They're treated like nothing, you know. These people they're crying for help. That's what they're doing. You don't do that to somebody who's suicidal. You know. They know what the step's going to be. They know what's going to happen next, and they still do it. And nobody listened to my son, and nobody, you know, and it's my fault too. I'm just as guilty. I feel every day. Every day. I shouldn't have been paying attention to them. I should have been paying attention to him. They destroyed him. You don't do that to a child. You don't take him from his mom 3 times. You don't do that to a child. And then you want to sit here and smile in his face and try to act like you're friends with his family and everything. Come on, seriously? He didn't have any family anyway. They're all fake as fuck. Nope, he had nobody but me. And barely that. Because I was telling him to go away too. Because I listened to dumbass fucking CPS. You know, my friend tells me, you know, he probably would have died anyway, no matter what, because he was really on it bad. And I'm like, no, he wouldn't have. If I wasn't scared of them, if they were out of my life, he would have been home. He would have had no reason to be out there. Because when he knew he could be here, he stayed here. He didn't go anywhere. But I kept putting him out. Because I kept listening to these people. These fucking punks. They're fucking crazy for even still being in my life at all. I would have left a long time ago. These people are crazy. It's like they want me to snap on them or something. Getting all these no contact orders. You should have been did that. You should have done that a long time ago. A lifetime one. See what you did to my son? You think I'm not blaming you every day? Please. I am. I didn't do it. I didn't even have a chance to do it. I didn't have a chance to do anything. These fucking punk-ass motherfuckers, I swear to God. That's why they're on YouTube, and that's why they live on YouTube, because of my son. Because of what you did to my son. Fucking punk. Lucky that's it. You're lucky it's just YouTube. I'd be thankful it's just YouTube. Count your fucking blessings. That God shit. Count your fucking blessings, bitch. You're lucky it's just YouTube. You deserve way more than that. Of course it's a setup. Think about it. Anything you smoke can get you high. That's why cigarettes, you know, give you a buzz, because basically you're sitting in a wildfire. So yeah, smoke gets you high, period. So that means that if anything can get you high and the government labeled drugs what they labeled them, then that means they want you gone. Because why on earth would they label fentanyl something that someone could smoke? You know, obviously they want these people gone because, listen, it's only $2 a pill. Who's profiting from that? These people aren't coming back to get more. They're like literally passing away after one hit. So yeah, it's a setup completely, because why on earth, who would profit from $2 a pill? I'm sorry, those bodies are too heavy to transport to Mexico for profit. Of course the United States government's doing it. Like, I mean, that's just my opinion, but to me it's true. $2 a pill, you're not making any money, okay? And these pills last for days, okay? So, they're really strong. So basically, why would you sell something for that cheap? And even on, like, the market, those pills aren't that cheap. Like real fentanyl, no, they cost money. So why would you sell them as drugs for way cheaper than what they're worth on the, like, basically if you had insurance or whatever, and we're getting them from a pharmacy? Exactly. So it's cheap because they want you to do it, because they want you to give them your organs, period. That's really what it is. These are just facts. I mean, there's no other excuse, because these people aren't coming back to buy more. So the dealers aren't making any money, you know? They're not coming back because of how strong it is, and they're not coming back because usually they don't make it. And the government knows that. But why would you label it a drug at all? When you label something a drug, you're basically saying, go ahead, kids, do it. Consume it. That's what it's for. Because you could smoke anything and get high. So it's not just because you get high. Smoking anything can get you high. Anything. Guaranteed. And you could probably lose teeth over time. And you could probably, go crazy and hallucinate. Yeah, that's what smoke does in general. So, of course it's a setup. Of course they did it on purpose to procure organs, to gain access to children for adoption, to gain access to prisoner labor for people who go to prison. I mean, to just basically population control and federal money and adoption money. It's all money, money, money. So, yeah, that's what it's for. And technically, they can't take anybody's kids for, drugs and stuff like that. But they just make them look bad, and so it just they break the law every day. These people break the law every day. They do not stop and think, well, I'm doing the wrong thing. No, whatever brings them the most money is what they're doing. Period. That's how it's always been since the creation of money.